What's going on, everybody? It is Jason Rouslin here on the Awesemo YouTube channel for the shortened Farmers Insurance Open week, as typically we get to go until Thursday morning to make our lineups. Not this week. We're going to get it Wednesday morning as the PGA Tour adjusts so that they don't have to go up against the NFL. So our content is coming fast and furious this week. That's why you should like and subscribe, especially subscribe to our channel so that you are notified when these stuff comes live. Typically, we have them out at the same time each week. These are the odd weeks that you do want to get notified about. So let's go ahead and jump right into my 5 sleepers this week. I got some 5 good golfers, 5 great golfers, in my opinion. Of course, every golfer on the PGA Tour is quite good. But let's start off with Mito Pereira. This guy coming in at 7,400 that broke through on the PGA Tour last year. He has not been seen for the last couple of weeks. And maybe that's why people are getting off of Mito, who was incredibly popular, especially through his torrid run last year that saw him place up into 6th at the Olympics, but his scoring was a lot better than that. A couple of other good ones too. Plus, his most recent form over the fall, a couple of tied for 29th, so it's not like he's had any bad results. But because he hasn't played in the last couple of weeks, maybe that's why we are not seeing the ownership get there. So just 4% ownership on a guy that certainly was way above that to start it. We don't have any notes on Mito other than his low ownership. Hasn't played here in the last couple of years. In fact, hasn't ever teed it up at the Farmers. No recent starts I just mentioned, and does not have stats yet because he hasn't played a full tour on the PGA Tour. So we'll move right along to Brandt Snedeker, coming in at 7,500 this week. Now, Brandt's coming in roughly, give or take, about 6 or 7% ownership this week. But he's playing very well. Came in 14th last week, had it going. Came in 36th the week before at Waialae. And now comes to a course that he's won twice at. He had a 3rd place finish here a couple of years ago. 32nd here last year. So really a lot going on for Brandt Snedeker that is good at this course. Plus the form is good. Now we look at his strokes gained, where he typically gets it done. 168th off the tee. That's obviously not very good, but he finds a lot of fairways here. 111 on the approach, gets a little hot there, but the short game is fantastic. 41st around the green and 40th putting. That was last year during one of his worst years on the PGA Tour, at least in quite some time. So I like the spot here for Brandt Snedeker, continue his good form in this early season. Now, somebody who we haven't seen recently, so we don't know if his form is good or not, is Mackenzie Hughes. But what I love about Hughes this week is he's in a range that people are going to be clicking the other names easily over him. He's got guys like Lando Griffin, who certainly set up good this week, Billy Horschel, Siwoo Kim right above him, Joaquin Niemann right above him, or even the same price. So I think that's going to lead to lower ownership on Mackenzie Hughes. Right now projected for 8.7% based off of our Awesemo DFS ownership projections. But I think it comes in even lower than that. Now, we look at course history. He's missed the cut here twice in a row at the Farmers, but did have a chance to win the U.S. Open here. In fact, was -5 going into that last day. He might have even been playing in the final group. Shot 6 over, but that was in large part due to something that happened on the back nine. One of the most freak things I've ever seen happen in a major, let alone a PGA Tour event. His ball ended up hitting like a stone or a rake ledge. Ended up behind a tree, ended up making triple. I mean, it was a brutal scenario, triple or double there on the back nine on a par 3. So it bumped him down still a top 15. So clearly it's not the golf course, as he was playing against the best in the world and still had a good finish. So like Mackenzie Hughes, let's take a look at his strokes gain rank. He is very similar to Brandt Snedeker in where he gained strokes. It's on and around the green, 76th on and around, I should say, 15th on the green. He's off the tee in the approach. His ball striking numbers, not so good, finishing outside of the top 150 in both of those categories. All right, next guy I want to talk about is Matt Wolff, coming in at 8,500 this week and just 3% projected own. He burned about 20% of the field last week at a price that was roughly $1,000 more. Nobody wants to play him here given the volatility, but for me, well, I'll take a look at him. He withdrew from this event last year. This is kind of the start of where we saw the mental problems with Wolff begin. But he said he's in a lot better place. So I look at the 25th that he came in a couple of years ago when he broke on tour. I look at the 2nd place finish he had at the U.S. Open, which obviously this hosts the U.S. Open. So at 2% owned, 3% owned, I love going 10% Matt Wolff here, getting leverage on the field and trying to leverage that upside we know is there. look at his strokes gained ranks from last year, 173rd off the tee. That's because he couldn't find planet Earth with his tee ball, let alone the fairway at Torrey Pines. Don't expect them to be last in the field this week in that category, especially after working it out after a bad first round last week. Look at his approaches. Those are always pretty good. 50th on tour last year, even a terrible year. He had that. Around the green is worrisome. If he struggles there this week, he may not make the cut. But again, that's why I like 2% owned. You got to like it. And putting, he was top 80. All right, we get to the top end sleeper of the week. And for golfers that are priced above 9,000, you have two choices. If you want to get less than 10% owned this week, the two choices are Brooks Koepka and Jordan Spieth. Here's why I like Jordan Spieth over Brooks Koepka this week. First off, coming in at $9,400, a couple $100 cheaper. Not very good course history, so that's going to keep the ownership low. But for Spieth, if you look at the recent winners at this golf course, you would have think he would have won this event a couple of times. We've got guys like Brandt Snedeker and Patrick Reed who have won this event. And Spieth's game is eerily similar to theirs. Now, one little difference, maybe he doesn't hit as many fairways. Strokes gained off the tee last year. He's ranked 135, but that's an improvement from almost dead last the year before, so certainly things are coming around. This was almost his coming out party, I'll call it. In fact, the miscut spurred the coming out party the next week at the Waste Management for Jordan. So I like this spot here. I don't think he gets above 10%. And if he has that one spike week, putting week that we haven't seen yet, I think he could be in okay form. The approach game has looked fine. We know he's a magician around the green, probably the best, one of the best ever in that category. And if his strokes gain off the tee continues to get better, I do like him quite a bit here this week. So those are my 5 sleepers where ownership is so vitally important. But a place where ownership is not important at all, at least what other people own them, the only ownership that matters is yours. And I'm talking about our sponsor of this show, the Jock Market. Now, what they do is they turn fantasy sports into a stock market exchange. You come from the world of the stock markets, well, let me tell you, it's probably not quite as volatile as what we've seen recently in that category, but you get to make money every minute of every second and every hour of the event going on. You can buy and sell shares of players in real time. And I've got 2 great deals for you. First, the first market guarantee from Jock Market. They're going to guarantee losses up to $100 on your first NFL or NBA draft. And then secondly, if you're a first-time depositor, use promo code Awesemo. Get up to $50 on your first deposit. Again, markets for NFL, MLB coming up soon, NHL, NBA, and PGA going on right now. And of course, check out our free Jock Market IPO projections to help you beat the market today. So let's go 5-1 again. Mito Pereira, let's jump on before everybody else does. Brandt Snedeker, let's continue that good form. Mackenzie Hughes, he's packed around a lot of good people. Let's get a good start out of him. Matt Wolff in a bounce back spot, and Jordan Spieth under 10% owned again for the first time in quite some time. So next week, Waste Management, that will be probably our biggest PGA DFS contest this week. Still a good chance to win life-changing money at the Farmers. So until next week, everybody, we will see you on the other side. Cheers.